Dwayne Johnson, security specialist who's called in to sign off the world's tallest building, a skyscraper. In an early scene, we see him as part of a SWAT team in the past trying to deal with a situation which goes horribly wrong, and he loses part of his right leg, so we know that he's combat trained. Now he's this specialist. He goes to the building with his wife, Neve Campbell, and his lovable kids. They are going to be the first people staying in the penthouse-style upper floors. Honk.
I wonder what's going to happen.
At the top of the building, there's a garden and a weird orb in which there is a mirror, like a projection screen maze that turns this weird room into a hall of mirrors. Honk. I wonder whether that's going to turn up later on. So The Rock is out of the building, and then a fire is started by evil Euro-accented baddies. Honk. Dwayne has to go in and save the day, and this will involve running into this building and doing lots of daring things, including trying to get behind some turbines by crawling along some windows, by putting duct tape on his hands and sticking himself to the outside of the building. Here's a dialogue-heavy clip.
Okay, easy. Just cut the wire, doors will open, climb back up there. Okay.
And so on. Okay, so basically, Towering Inferno was based on two, but Towering Inferno was the Tower meets the Glass Inferno. Die Hard was Towering Inferno meets Cowboys and Indians. Skyscraper is Die Rock Hard.
Hey!
Thank you very much. Or, as Simon, producer, called it, was it the Towering Dwayne Inferno? Somebody else on Twitter said, if it's bland, it's the vanilla Skyscraper. But it isn't bland. Okay. It's directed by Rawson Marshall Thurber, who has an awful lot of fun doing it, and does understand comedy. There are some effectively vertiginous sequences in which, in order to get out of this building, they have to crawl along very, very narrow planks over great sort of fiery abysses. There is Dwayne sticking himself to the outside of buildings with gaffer tape. In fact, it's duct tape. The whole film actually ends up playing like an advert for duct tape, because it does demonstrate that there is almost nothing in the world that cannot be solved with duct tape. And when he meets his wife, the first question is, have you got any duct tape with you? At one point, I thought, they've forgotten the Orson Welles sequence, but no, they hadn't, because of course they had. I really enjoyed it. I mean, it is complete nonsense. It is hugely derivative. It knows the films that it's stealing from, and it's having fun stealing from them. There are very few people who could get away with this in the lead role. Robbie Collin did say when you were talking about Rampage, he said, I'd like to see Daniel Day-Lewis pull off the trick of convincingly fist bumping with a 60-foot gorilla. Well, frankly, I'd like to see Daniel Day-Lewis convincingly pull off the trick of duct taping yourself to the outside of a fiery skyscraper, and he manages to get away with it. And I smiled all the way through, because he is a very, very likable star, and the film is big, dumb fun. And on one interesting point, a serious note before we get to First Reformed, I remember making a documentary about disaster movies some years ago called Hell Underwater, Fire in the Sky, in which people talked very seriously about the fact that, in a post 9/11 world, nobody would ever be able to make a Towering Inferno movie again. I mean, it does show how everything is cyclical, because this is what that is. It's Towering Inferno. It is Die Hard. It's doing all of those with its tongue firmly in cheek. It's got a wry smile, so it's not meant to be taken seriously. I've got a fear of heights anyway, and it worked for me, and I enjoyed it. It was stupid, but I enjoyed it.